Hi. One of the most important concept discussed in the managerial economic is principal-agent conflict. So let us understand today what is principal-agent conflict. Principals are nothing but the shareholders. Agents are nothing but the managers. Now, and where is the conflict? See, we know that a company is owned majorly by equity and to some extent by debt and other means. Equity shareholders may be in lakhs or thousands or in crores also. Every person who holds one share of a company is also a owner of the company. But however, every shareholder cannot run the company. So what does the shareholders do? The shareholder selects a management and asks the management to run the company on their behalf. So managers are become the agent for the shareholders. So principals are the shareholders and agents are nothing but the managers. So where does the conflict start? See, shareholders always want wealth maximization and they want to improve the long-term prospects of a company. However, managers will have their own personal egos and manager may be very aggressive and he may would like to expand the company and build an empire, and he may serve his own personal interests which may not align with the shareholders' interest of generating long-term value to the company. So this is where the conflict between manager and the shareholders arise. So whenever the ownership and the management of a company is separated, so this agency problem always occurs. So what are the costs of the agency? Since the shareholders has to perforce install a management to run a company, there will be a number of costs involved. The first cost is the monitoring cost. So we have to monitor the management. How do the management is monitored? It is through board of directors, and the managers are expected to have audits of the company, how the company is running. Then they have to have reporting requirements will be there in order to the shareholders. So all these things will take resources of the company, and it will have some amount of expenditure involved. The second is bonding cost. What is it? It means aligning the manager interest with the shareholders' interest. So how does the shareholders do? They try to give incentives to the managers through employee stock option and giving partial ownership of the company. This is also done by encouraging managers to have a partial ownership, and also performance linked bonus will also be there, linking the performance of the managers with respect to the return of equity generated or economic value added of a company. And in spite of all this, there will be some gap between the requirements of the shareholders and the requirement and the results produced by the managers. So this is known as the residual cost. So this cost has to be borne by the shareholders. And finally, there is corporate governance. See, running a company profitable does not necessarily mean exploiting the employees, polluting the environment, and creating a disharmony in the society. So corporate social responsibility is also a very important concept which is closely watched by the shareholders to ensure that the company runs in a ethical manner. So this is also one of the costs involved in agency management.